Introduction, background and initial actions. Background. Coronavirus disease 2019 originated in Wuhan and was confirmed as an outbreak by the WHO on January 12, 2020. Malaysia successfully contained the first wave, but a worrying second wave occurred in early March 2020. Actions taken. The government of Malaysia enforced the movement control order starting on March 18, 2020, to break the chain of infection. A massive response involved NGOs, prison inmates producing PPE, provisional hospitals being set up, and retired nurses returning to serve.
Malaysia says it can meet this year's growth target of 6 to 7.5% after its third lockdown ends. The forecast comes even as tighter restrictions are being imposed from today. Economic Affairs Minister Mustafa Mohamad says it's possible if the curbs bring the COVID-19 situation under control.
Malaysia recorded 17,150 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday, with the Klang Valley still accounting for the most number of cases. Selangor recorded 6,326 new cases and Kuala Lumpur 2,086.
Economy and individuals. GDP contraction. Malaysia's GDP shrank by 5.6% in 2020. Key sectors affected were services, investment, and manufacturing. Economists predicted a slow W-shaped or L-shaped recovery, not a rapid V-shaped one. Daily economic loss. During the MCO, the economy was estimated to lose RM 2.4 billion every day. Financial vulnerability. The lack of financial safety nets was starkest among the self-employed, with 71.4% having sufficient savings for less than 1 month. Only employees of GLCs and MNCs showed readiness for an extended lockdown. Job loss by employment status. The self-employed were the most affected, with 46.6% losing their jobs. Job loss by industry. The highest job losses were registered in the agriculture and services sectors.
Tourism, a major revenue stream for Malaysia, came to a screeching halt. International travel restrictions and local lockdowns meant hotels, airlines, and attractions saw near-zero activity. The hospitality industry faced massive layoffs and closures. Retail wasn't spared either. With consumers staying home, physical stores experienced a drastic drop in foot traffic. Many small businesses struggled to survive, leading to a wave of bankruptcies. But it wasn't all doom and gloom.
It respects no borders and spreads rapidly across the globe. COVID-19 has left many countries, including Malaysia, economically shaken. Unemployment has hit its highest levels in a decade, and the economy is expected to contract between -3.5 and 5.5% this year.
The pandemic is a global pandemic, and that's affected all sectors of economies across the globe, and Malaysia is no exception to this. So the Malaysian economy has also taken its beating.
The impact is felt across all layers of society, especially the poor, the most vulnerable, as well as those who have suddenly found themselves caught in the poverty trap.
Sebelum PKP, bisnes boleh sampai ke 2,000. Paling rendah pun dalam 800 lah macam tu. Tapi bila terjadi PKP masa tu memang kosong terus. Jadi tak boleh nak ke mana.
There were pockets of vulnerable and marginalized groups, families who had no access to food. They were getting kicked out of their homes.
The coronavirus crisis has driven up poverty levels in Asia for the first time since the 1998 Asian financial crisis. Can the new poor in Malaysia cope and survive the challenges in the new post-pandemic era?
Asian GDP figures are out tomorrow, giving a sense of how the pandemic has affected growth. Now, a year on, many are still feeling the sting. And Malaysia is back under lockdown again, and those in the informal sectors are struggling. Melissa Go reports.
Colin Gomez and his friends have now joined the ranks of tens of thousands of self-employed runners and riders working with local delivery companies. Malaysia's extended movement control order has hit them hard, they said. They lost their old jobs at the gym and retail mall following the second MCO because both were deemed non-essential and were not allowed to operate. Their frustrations are mounting.
It affects everyone lah. This type of restriction, they're not firm, they're not being fair, they're not being very clear about what they're doing.
I'm a staff in H&M. They closed down, so I had to do this food delivery job. I cannot sit at home.
Yeah.
Because money doesn't grow on trees.
Colin and Sukdev said they're not waiting for help from the government. They're just finding ways to make a living themselves while hoping to get their old job.
There were 212 new cases. The situation got worse, which was the largest number in one day, making the national total more than 1,500. Many of these cases were linked to a large religious gathering in Selangor. Because of this, the Prime Minister warned that the partial lockdown might need to be extended for another 2 weeks to make sure people followed the rules about travel and closed businesses. The army was mobilized across the nation. They set up more than 40 roadblocks just in the Klang Valley area. In response to the crisis, the government quickly gave money for two main areas: health and public aid. For health, they immediately set aside $120 million to buy medical equipment like ventilators and test kits. They also gave $20 million United States dollars to hire 2,000 nurses because many hospitals were too busy and did not have enough supplies. For the people, they offered quick financial help. This meant people under 55 could take money from their retirement savings (EPF) to help them during this hard time. These were only the first actions. The report said the Prime Minister promised to announce a second financial help package on March 30th. This showed the government would keep working to make the economy stable.